Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome back to another Smite commentary. And for today we'll be playing Fafnir, the greedy son of a bitch. Let's get rolling with him. Okay, so I wanted to talk a bit about the patch that came up yesterday when this is going up. The patch is 3.16 and I wanted to cover a couple of changes that have happened that I feel like will have a big impact in the way a god or a build will work. So let's head right into it and start off with something that will kind of make Odin useless. They are buffing Phantom. If you don't know, Phantom is a relic that you can buy, and it used to provide yourself with a kind of buff that allows you to walk through minions, through gods, to player-made walls, such as Odin Cage, such as Emir wall, such as Kraken, his ultimate wall. It only was used on his own, so you were not able to kinda get it to your teammates, but with the recent buff, it is a buff you can provide to your entire team if they are close enough to you, and everyone can just walk out. So this basically makes Odin's ultimate not viable anymore, which was a huge part of what Odin did. Now he's only a bird bomb, which will mostly do a lot in the early game, not so much in the late game. So I feel like that's definitely going to hurt him a lot, and Odin is going to need a change if Phantom is going to stay the way it works, because he's just probably one of the worst gods in Smite at the moment with that change. Only one person has to pick it up. If two persons pick it up, doesn't matter how much cooldown reduction he builds, I feel like you can always get out. Maybe it's not so much the issue in Conquest, of course, because you aren't grouped up as much in the early game, so you can still get a couple of kills with your ult, but I still feel like it's just not viable anymore. Big ultimate, can we go for the Fafnir as well? I picked up the Shibalanke, a lot of damage, and looks like Fafnir is going to die as well. Double kill already, let's go for the Hades, and my breath is enough. Don't need any abilities for that one, he didn't have his leap anymore. Able to pick up a triple kill already. Damn. Fafnir, people, Fafnir. This is still before the changes, so that means that his 2 still has a shorter cooldown and he still gets more gold per minion killed. It is not the best thing ever in Arena, to be honest, not the worst thing either. I feel like he's still extremely powerful and maybe even the strongest guardian in the game as for damage. I think that you can build him the strongest. Emir is pretty powerful as well, but Fafnir has way more abilities. He has 5 damaging abilities compared to the 3 the Emir has, so definitely a lot stronger and a lot more mobile. So I feel like he's just way stronger. The only downside of Fafnir compared to Emir is that Emir has the freeze that can hit multiple people and Fafnir's stun can only hit 1. So, but he has 3 of them, so I don't know. He's just extremely powerful in my opinion, and I like him a lot. I feel like he's very fun to play. If you haven't played him, definitely try him out. He's insanely good. Does an insane amount of damage as well, depending on how you build him. But he has a good base damage. Okay, let's continue with the patch changes. So, I covered Phantom, which kind of makes Odin crap, to be honest. A couple small item changes. Divine Rune got a buff in his damage, 15 additional magical power. It's not bad. It's definitely very, very good. Ooh, got stunned by the Shibalanke ultimate. That's not a good one. Ooh, nice lucky gutter. Let's see if we can go for someone else as well. Ultimate on 2 targets. That's a lot of damage. Stun him. CC chain for days. Doesn't have his leap, and he will be secured for that kill. 4th kill already. 4-0-3. Damn, Fafnir. Fafnir. Okay. Next change was a change to Magi's Blessing. If you're not familiar with Magi's Blessing, if you have it, you will have a bubble around you. This bubble will break when you're hit by hard CCs. I think roots count as well. Root, silence, mass, stun, something like that will be prevented once, and you will be granted CC immunity for 1 second. This will only proc once every 90 seconds, but you can obviously see it when it's up on someone. It's a lot cheaper now, so might be picked up more. It's still a lower cooldown than the purification beads, but you don't have as much control on when to use it. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up more. I don't like it that much, but in certain situations, definitely an option. Another change is to Pythagorum's piece, or Pythagorum's piece, or whatever, how you call it, I don't know. A huge buff, in my opinion. Its cost got reduced by 200 gold, which is already very good, because I already picked it up on a couple of gods. They reduced its power, but the power they reduced it with is 10, and they gave it to the aura. And since you are affected by the aura as well, the power is the same for you, but your team will get 10 additional magical power. And the lifesteal is increased by 5% on the aura. So your team will have 5% more lifesteal, you will have 5% more lifesteal, and your team will have 10 more power. Which I feel like is insane, especially if you also consider that it's 200 gold cheaper. So it's a very good item to pick up. I already liked it on, for instance, Freya and Anubis, but I think that it's definitely an option to pick it up on more gods. Decent amount of damage. Can't really... I missed my one on the Fafnir, which is unfortunate. He retreated immediately after he went into his dragon form. Wasn't able to confirm any damage on him, unfortunately. But I guess that's fine. Doesn't matter too much. Also a change to spectral armor. I don't really pick it up, to be honest. I feel like it's not a very good item for the effect. It's 200 gold cheaper now, so that brings it to 1900 gold. 1900 gold is very good, if you ask me. Because it is very cheap and provides a good amount of protections. But the effect is kind of mediocre. When you use a relic, you will have your cooldowns reduced by 3 seconds. On a relic with a very long cooldown, I don't feel like it's really worth it. But that's, well, I guess that if you use it, it's a good change. Maybe you can pick it up very cheap for the protections. It all depends. Okay. So, another change, now to the gods. The item changes weren't too many of them. This patch is mostly the new god anyway. I will cover that one later in another video when I play her, but for now I'll just cover 2 other changes that are happened to gods. You have a change to Hou Yi. This is actually a pretty major change. His ricochet will have more damage when you hit it straight up, so without a bounce, but the damage on the bounce is reduced a little bit. So in the end, if you triple bounce someone, you will have about the same damage, but you will have more damage when you hit someone directly. You might wonder, why are they buffing Hou Yi? Well, they have another change to it. His mark is now a bit worse. It used to have a effect on it that provided penetration at rank 5. They removed that penetration effect. Oh, I'm so dead. But they removed the penetration effect. 25 penetration has now been removed from the rank 5 mark. And the effect that the marked target is revealed on the map is now at every rank. So you don't have to level it up to, I think it was rank 2 or 3 to get that. But probably the most important, no, not the most important, but a very important change to the mark as well is that its duration is reduced by 5 seconds. So its duration is now only 10 seconds in total, which is definitely not a lot. Okay, CC chain him. Does it look like it's necessary to get blown up by my mace? His mace, my mace in his face. Her face. I don't know. Never mind. So that's the change to Hou Yi. I'm very curious to see if it affects his damage a lot. I don't think it will, to be honest. His ricochet about the same. And you kinda... Well, the mark is nerfed. It wasn't necessary, to be honest. It was just too potent. But I don't feel like he will be a bad god with this. I feel like he will still be extremely powerful. Shell for my team. This is a huge engagement. I don't have my ultimate just yet. When I get a good opportunity, I will go for it. But for now, I'll just keep on it. This is definitely a good one. Let's go for it. Looks like she used all her escapes. I hit the Saket with my abilities. Ah, she avoided that one beautifully. But I hit her with my one, and it is enough to finish off the Saket. So in the end, was able to pick her up. I did die, which is unfortunate, because my ultimate lasts quite long. So if I survive a bit longer, I can get my abilities out again, which is insane. But I do have my Gem of Isolation now. It is insanely powerful on Fafnir. It's one of my favorite items on him. Actually, I think it's my favorite item. Maybe Breastplate. Breastplate is just... He needs the cooldown and the mana, especially early on. But I feel like Gem is just so much more potent to slow. It provides slow for your team, for yourself. And if you're in Dragon form buffing your entire team and they all have Gem of Isolation effect on basic attacks and abilities, that's nuts. And you'll have it on your own abilities as well, which are damage over times when you're in your Dragon form. Very annoying to deal with. Okay, one more change, a buff to Sylvanas. Sylvanas will have more damage on his 1. Not the first rank, but at the maximum rank I think it was like the base damage increased by something, I think 60 or 80. Which is not bad, it's definitely a good change for him. They also increased the protections provided by his heal by 5 per rank, which is also not bad. And his Nature's Grasp, his pool, will have a reduced cooldown of 2 seconds. So overall a very good change for him. Using my ult for CC immunity here. Avoiding the ultimate from the enemy Fafnir. A lot of damage on the enemy Hades. He used his leap and with the slow I can definitely chase him down for a good amount. Doesn't look like the Rom wants to chase as well. He did use his escape, so I felt like it was a good option. But I guess it's fine. As you can see, the slow is just destroying her. And the leap as well. And as you can see, my basics definitely do some damage as well. Fafnir, you are so strong. This is one of the downsides of him though. If you're out of your Dragon form, you will get CC'd by your own ability. You can see it coming, because, well, you can watch the timer, or when you're flashing, that means that you'll turn normal again pretty soon. You can use, for instance, your shell to kind of make sure that you're safe, or make sure that you back before you are going to turn back into your regular form. It is important, if you're in the middle of a team fight surrounded by all the enemies and you're stunned, then you're a very vulnerable target, and if your team is not around to kill someone, it's not worth it and you will just die. So make sure that you get out of trouble or kill someone before you turn normal. Yeah, that about covers the changes to the gods and the items. Let's see, buffing again the Rama. Buffing a hunter is definitely something you need to do with your 2. It's just so extremely powerful buffing a hunter. 50% attack speed and slows, well, it's not 50 just yet, but slows on the basic attacks of a hunter with additional attack speed and additional damage depending on how much power he has. That is just insane. Use my ult for the immunity to get a lot of immunity from it, and we're able to finish off the Hades immediately. Stunning the Soul, can we get her as well? My team is all retreating. Oh, that wasn't very close. As you can see, insane damage. If one of my teammates was around and did like one basic attack, or the Rama noticed and went into the air with the ultimate, then he could have gotten that kill easily. Okay, so I do feel like he's still very powerful, and I feel like he's one of my favorite guardians, and this was a way too aggressive move on my part, but I feel like he's one of the most aggressive guardians, but he has insane damage while doing so, even though I'm now quite tanky, especially with the Mantle of Discord, and I'm almost at full cooldown reduction. If I'm in my ultimate when I'm level 20, I'll have 40 seconds of ultimate time, and with that, I will also have the insane ability damage that I can get off more often. It's just such a god. It's an insane god. Look, he probably is able to get her. Yes, looks like he is. Damn, this fight is going great for us. We definitely have the edge against them, and as you can see, slowed is the Hades. Oh, I missed my mace. That sucks. I guess it's fine. Let's see, how much do I do? 25 per pop is not bad. I don't have as much power as other gods, so 25 per pop is insanely high with 50% additional attack speed. Giving it to the Ares. If he uses Flame Wave or his chains, he will have slow on both of them. It's just nuts. Definitely if you have the gem, you can use it on gods you usually won't use it on, because of the fact it slows, and I feel like sometimes the slow is even better than the additional damage. As you can see, my basics doing a lot of damage as well. I'm probably going to die here. Again, way too aggressive. Didn't have my leap up anymore. The Hades ultimate came out. Good Hades ultimate, to be honest. Definitely a nice one to keep me stuck in place. Didn't have my shell up. If I had my shell up, I think I would have survived. Bit of a misplay on my part. Should have recognized that. They have a lot of damage, of course. and I didn't have my shell up. Okay, so the last item I'll go for is the Spirit Robe. You might think, why overcap your cooldown reduction? It's only 5%. 5% is not the end of the world. It provides me protections on both sides, which I feel like are necessary. They have a good amount of damage on both sides. And most importantly, when I get CC'd, I will have the additional reduction in damage received, the 15% damage reduction on the Spirit Robes, which is insane, especially when you're quite tanky as I am. Gods that can shred me easily are probably Sakat if she has some protections, or for instance Sol, Xbalanque. They have just a lot of damage in general. As you can see, Xbalanque definitely doesn't want to box my Rama when I buff him, because he will be slowed, and that guarantees almost every auto from the Ram, as well as deals additional damage, as well as 50% additional attack speed. It's insane if you give it to the Hunters. And it heals me for a very good amount. 210 there is just... that's a lot. Let's just go for the ultimate as well. Fafnir stuck inside it will be a decent amount of damage. Going for the Salt CC chain. Insane damage. And slowing their entire enemy team with just my basic attack. That's the power of Fafnir, and they don't want to deal with it. Even if it's only for 13 more points, they are going to surrender. And I definitely understand why, because... Fafnir, people. Fafnir. I mean, I have so much damage, and I didn't even have that many power items. I had a lot of penetration, to be honest, with the Void Stone as well as the Pen Boots, but that is, I think, 35 penetration. That is very powerful. Don't get me wrong. It will destroy everyone's protections that doesn't have any additional protections. So if, for instance, they have a hardware, they'll have a little bit of magical protection. But doing true damage as a Guardian with his high damage is insane. Fafnir can also be built with full damage build, like for instance a Warlock Sash, Book of Thoth, Rod of Tutti, items like that. It's a lot more risky, of course. You can just die pretty easily because you are not that tanky. You'll only have the passive protections. I think that's also a change they added in this patch. Not 100% positive, but I think they also reduced the amount of protections he gains from his passive a little bit. I think it was reduced by 10 in total. I'm not 100% positive, but I think that was a change as well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this Fafnir gameplay. This was before 3.16 came live, so that's before the patch. So after the patch, his 2 will be up a little bit less often. He will have a little less gold to spend with his passive, and he will probably have a little less protections on his passive. Not 100% sure about that, but would not be the worst change, to be honest. He's quite tanky early on. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you so much for the responses. If you have any requests, please let me know. Gods, game modes, builds, etc. Hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.